Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. We are doing a energy update and a new moon in Cancer kind of sort of horoscope for you. I am changing things up on my channel, so this isn't going to be the typical run of the mill A to B type horoscope for you. I am going to go over the energies of the new moon, the general aspects and themes of this new moon, as well as an energy update, and I will do a tarot reading for the collective for the next 2 weeks as well towards the end. And if I have time, I will put timestamps in the comments below. Those of you that are new here though, my name is Leah, aka The Cosmic Rose, and we do astrology, astrology 101, tarot, and spirituality here on my channel. So, and I did start incorporating a new way of doing my readings, and I started with the Capricorn reading. So if you haven't seen that, you resonate with Capricorn, you have Capricorn placements, or you know somebody that's Capricorn, go check that out. Because what I am going to start doing is, and I have started doing, is channeling and scripting the channeled messages for my readings beforehand. So I did this for the collective and the collective horoscope for the new moon in Cancer as well. And so I will be going over those in the first part of the reading, or first part of the video, and then we will jump into Oracle and Tarot for the collective, and just kind of a little bit of everything. I feel like this is really a transition that I've been needing to make. The horoscopes, the way that I was doing them, are a lot more analytical and mathematical, which is fine, but I am also I'm heavy water. I have a grand water trine. I have to be more creative and more intuitive in my approach to my readings. So if you guys like it this way, please do let me know down in the comments below. Let's jump right into this reading though. I don't want to talk your ears off. I channeled these collective messages on the 13th. Today is the 16th, I believe. So this was 3 days ago. But overall, the first thing that came through, I was getting a heavy energy of stress and or stomach issues in the collective. And actually, when I was rereading these just before I came on camera, I was like, that makes a lot of sense with the Cancer new moon, because Cancer does rule the stomach. Cancer is the divine feminine of the zodiac. But I feel like there's this overwhelming amount of stress, and this could be in regards to the collective nurturing energy of the collective. And it's almost like we're so stressed out, we're forgetting to nurture ourselves. And in turn, the collective is seeing a lot of digestive issues, a lot of stomach issues, just overall feelings of unwellness that in a lot of times that can translate into our immune systems and into our digestive systems. So definitely be on the lookout for that if you might be experiencing these problems. It's not just you, it is a collective thing right now. I also got an image of the earth with a pink aura, and to see Gaia with a pink aura is a different frequency, at least for me, and everybody sees auras differently. So, you know, if this isn't how you read aura energy, that's fine. But to me, a pink energy, when you first think of pink, you would think pink is kind of like a heart-centered energy, which isn't necessarily the case when I think of pink. When I think of a heart-centered energy, I'm going to think of green related to the heart chakra, although some people do see the heart chakra as pink. But when I see the earth, especially with a pink aura, I am seeing kind of the prequel, so to speak, to anger and tension. So keep in mind, these are channeled messages, and I am channeling right now as I'm going through these channel messages, so I'm getting more downloads as I'm doing this reading. But I almost feel like there's a buildup of tension, and especially with the astrology right now, we do have Pluto squaring the nodes. I'm sorry, yeah, we do have Pluto squaring the nodes, and then we have this new moon is opposing Pluto. So we technically have a grand cross in the sky. So I almost feel like, and I will get into this when we go into the horoscope portion of this, but I almost feel like there is a underlying feeling of stuckness, which is in turn being translated and transmuted into anger, which we need to do quite the opposite, especially around Cancer season. And the Cancer new moon, we need to try to de-stress and release things, especially in this dark moon period when I'm recording this. But the Cancer new moon is really a time to go inwards and make sure we're good emotionally, internally, So in turn, when we come into Leo season, we can, you know, then we can have our fun. Then we can go out and enjoy things and bring out that true, vibrant Leo energy. But yeah, the Earth with a pink aura was something that I was picking up. Also, some of you guys need to get some cameras at your house. That message is going to be for a select few. Obviously, take what resonates for you. This is a channeled collective message, so keep that in mind. Not everything I say is going to be for every single person. Same with the tarot readings. Some of you guys need to get some cameras, and that message was for somebody. Also, ascension symptoms are on the rise, and I do kind of keep a little bit informed on the Schumann resonance and the solar flares, and these are just energies that I'm picking up. I don't really keep track of them like, you know, every day type of thing, but I will kind of look at those things just to see what a general energy is. And I am getting that a lot of people are experiencing a lot of ascension symptoms and symptoms from the Schumann resonance and or solar flares. And these could be itchy skin. Itchy skin was the big one that came up. Also, the stomach issues could be related to the Schumann resonance or solar flares or ascension symptoms. So those could be two big ones that people are experiencing right now. Headaches are another big one. So make sure you're drinking a lot of water. I do feel like this is a great time to focus on health. A lot of people, it seems like, I don't know why, I can't really put my finger on it, probably because Mars is in the sign of Virgo, but I do feel like this is a time when a lot of people, for some reason, collectively are really trying to turn their health around in some way, shape, or form. So definitely keep an eye on that. Make sure you're drinking lots of water, eating a healthy diet, things of that nature. And I got the message that some of us in the collective are too busy with work and our ambitions, and we're not noticing some deceptions that are maybe behind the scenes or beneath the surface, so to speak. So that is going to be for a select few as well. Those of you that are overly consumed with your work and things that you're striving to achieve right now, especially with Pluto retrograde in the sign of Capricorn at 29 degrees, it's like all those Pluto and Capricorn themes have came back to the surface of achieve and get things done. And we could be overlooking something and not paying attention to something that we need to be paying attention to. So whether that has to do with your relationships or whether that has to do with, you know, something at work, you know, you're too busy working on your own work goals to really figure out what's going on with your coworkers, or somebody's being shady at work, or a parent is being kind of sneaky or deceptive, or your partner's lying to you, or your kids are lying to you, whatever the case may be, take it how it resonates. Also, eating more fruits, because fruits, I got the image of a berry tree and or blackberry trees. I don't really know if that's a thing. I don't really know how blackberries grow. I would assume they grow on a tree or a bush, because I used to have raspberry bushes growing up, and raspberries grow on bushes. But I'm not sure about blackberries, so don't come at me in the comments. Eating more fruits would be beneficial for us at this time, a lot of us, because fruits are very detoxing. Fasting would be another good way as well. And you could do just a fruit fast, because fasting, you are ridding the body of, first of all, food. You're starving the body. And if you do a fruit fast, you are, because fruits detox. Vegetables put the nutrients back in, or as fruit gets everything out. That, you know, it does have some nutrients to it, but the vegetables are really where you're going to get the nutritional benefits. The fruits are going to cleanse your system. It's mostly water anyway. So eating more fruits would be a big one. It might help kind of counteract some of the ascension symptoms that some of us might be having at this time. Also, some of you might find yourselves being drawn to your Egyptian roots, and it's kind of a collective census that all of us have Egyptian roots in some way, shape, or form. All of us kind of, basically that's the earliest civilization that we really know of. So we all have Egyptian roots to some extent, and we could be kind of exploring those Egyptian roots in some way, shape, or form more so, or find ourselves more interested in that. Some of you, this is a message, if you kind of had it in the back of your mind to research more about your Egyptian roots or things that interest you in ancient Egypt, this would be a sign for you to explore that further for sure. And I don't want to get too politically involved in my readings and stuff like that. It's not really politics. It's just kind of common sense and human decency. But I was getting something in my channel, messages about sex trafficking and world hunger specifically. And I do know, this is just coming from a logical standpoint, the movie The Sound of Freedom, I believe is the name, came out recently. So this is a message. If you guys have been thinking about going to see that movie, go see it. I have not seen it myself. I need to go see it as well. But yeah, there was also something coming up about the Lion and or Leo season. So I'm going to jump into the new moon portion, and I'm kind of mixing it all together for reference as well. So okay, so new moon in Cancer, guys. The new moon is happening on Monday the 17th at 24 degrees of the sign of Cancer, 24 degrees and 56 minutes to be exact, and it will be at 2:32 p.m. Eastern time and 11:32 p.m. Pacific time for reference. And this is actually the day that the nodes shift. The nodes are shifting from Scorpio and Taurus into Aries and Libra. So it is a big day in astrology. Sorry, I need to figure out a new way to have my camera set up so that it's not on my desk, because every time I shake the desk, my phone shakes. This is kind of like an emotional rebirth is what I was picking up in the channel messages for this new moon. But there's going to be a little bit of a resistance there, especially with the opposition to Pluto, and Pluto is squaring the nodes, that grand cross I was talking about. There's also a yacht in the sky, Venus being at the apex, so relationships are definitely highlighted. Relationships and money, or our values, and Neptune and Pluto are at the base of the yacht, so I will get into that in just a moment. But there is a resistance to this rebirth, and there's a resistance to purging, especially during this dark moon. If you see this before the new moon, there needs to be a little bit of a purge of our emotional selves and letting go of things that are emotionally affecting us, especially from the past, because Cancer is a very nostalgic sign. And some of us have kind of forgotten this very important step, especially every new moon. Every dark moon, we should be purging or letting go of something, because new moons are emotional rebirths in some way, shape, or form in your life. So you're definitely going to want to pay attention to where Cancer is in your chart, where 24 degrees of Cancer is in your chart, for a little more context into where this is happening for you. Definitely focusing on a healthy lifestyle and your spirituality will be beneficial for kind of counteracting these heavy transits, because we could feel somewhat stuck. So exercise could be beneficial for you. I know Cancer is a sign that can definitely be a homebody, and we can kind of neglect our physical needs, and sometimes our physical needs are what our emotional needs need in order to be more healthy, because everything, you know, from a physiological standpoint, everything starts with your health, your physical health, and like your emotional health. For example, all your serotonin is made in your gut. Most of your hormones and the chemicals in your brain are made in your gut. So if you're not eating a healthy diet, that could be contributing to why you're not feeling good emotionally. But this also could be a heavy time in the collective for breakups. We are learning to nurture ourselves and be there for ourselves. There is a collective wound, especially with the nodes moving into Aries and Libra, the South Node being in the sign of Libra. There is a collective wound of needing a relationship to feel whole. And this whole transit over the next year and a half of North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra is going to be about really finding it within yourself. And I feel like this new moon in the sign of Cancer, being a sign that is really about nurturing, and the nodes shifting on the same day, this is about learning to nurture yourself and doing things for yourself. Now, that may sound kind of narcissistic or selfish in a way, but that's what this transit is really representing. It's not saying to cut off all your one-on-one personal connections or break up with your significant other, although there is a lot of breakup energy in the collective right now, and I feel like there will be over the next year and a half. We're going to see a lot of divorces. We're going to see a lot of people that are not happy in their relationships coming out of nowhere and saying that they're not emotionally satisfied, or they're not sexually satisfied, they're not overall happy in their relationships. But where was I going with this? Just lost my train of thought. We are going to see a lot of wounds come out, wounds within ourselves coming out of the need to be in a relationship, and I feel like that is most definitely going to be highlighted. But there is also a underlying energy of wanting to have fun, but really with Jupiter in the sign of Jupiter in the sign of Taurus, your luck is going to come from putting in the work, especially as we're leading up to this new moon right before the node shift, with the North Node being in Taurus and Jupiter being in Taurus. Your luck and abundance is going to come from where you put in the work. That's not to say you can't have fun, but you know, this is putting in the work, whether that be putting in the work at home, repairing your connections in the home, or repairing your home physically, or saging your home. Also, I almost forgot to mention this, spiritual hygiene and cleansing of your home will be extremely beneficial, using things like, you know, sage or Florida water is another good one for spiritual hygiene. I like to, anytime I leave the house or come home, I will open up my Florida water and I will kind of just give my head and my hair, my third eye, my arms a quick rub down with Florida water. Salt baths are another really good one, or ritual baths, spiritual baths. But cleansing your home, doing floor washes if you're into that sort of thing, could be extremely beneficial in protecting your home. You can use protective crystals like obsidian, or black tourmaline is my favorite, but yeah, whatever crystals resonate for you. We can talk about that on another video for sure. But I feel like this is really a time of emotional purging. So you might find yourselves, the collective might be overly emotional right now with an underlying theme of tension and anger. But really we need to get these feelings out, these emotional feelings out, and purge them in order to start anew and to start a new cycle with the new moon in Cancer, and really starting off things from a new emotional standpoint. We also do have Mercury, which is squaring Jupiter, and this is a weird transit just because during this new moon, because it's almost like Mercury square Jupiter to me is not feeling very lucky or abundant or successful in regards to our intellectual pursuits. So anything that has to do with your analytical mind, you're not necessarily going to feel abundant, so to speak, with those endeavors at this time. But Jupiter is the great benefic. It's a benefic nonetheless, and there is always an element of luck no matter what aspect and what planet it is aspecting. It's going to be different for each planet, but there's always an undertone or an element of luck under there. We do also have Mars opposing Saturn, and this one I don't necessarily like during this new moon. This is, you know, Mars is a planet of going and getting things done in the sign of Virgo right now, and Saturn is retrograde in the sign of Pisces. So that opposition it contradicts itself, and that's kind of what oppositions do. They don't see eye to eye, but they are able to see the other person's point of view, because it's almost like sitting at the table directly across from somebody as opposed to somebody that's like right next to you or somebody that's over here, because they can see straight down and they're able to talk to each other level-headed, so to speak. It's not as tense as a square, if that makes any sense. But Mars and Saturn are two of the malefics. They're the two malefics. And Saturn is the planet that wants to pump the brakes, while Mars is the one that wants to hit the gas. And Mars in the sign of Virgo wants to hit the gas on getting things in order, making sure things are getting done and organized. And Saturn in Pisces is going over how we can be more spiritually connected and where have we been spiritually lacking discipline. And Mars in Virgo is getting all the things in our environment looking nice and getting all the work done and getting things organized and, you know, setting things up to look good in the 3D, where Saturn in Pisces is really about, in retrograde nonetheless, is really quite the opposite. Figuring out where we have overindulged or overdone ourselves or worked too hard or slacked off too much. And Saturn is going back and trying to recalibrate, more or less. So there's a discrepancy there that we need to learn to balance around the time of this new moon and the next 2 weeks going into the full moon in Aquarius. There is a discrepancy there that we need to pay attention to and try to find a good balance between. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the card reading for the new moon in Cancer for the collective. Again, I need to find another way to have my camera recording me, not on my desk, because when I shuffle the cards here, it shakes the desk, so I apologize for that. But I made this deck myself, actually. I was working on it for a few weeks, so I'm kind of excited to try it out with you guys. All right, what do we have for the collective for the new moon? We have gratitude. Gratitude, let's see what it says. Practicing gratitude instantly raises your frequency and can shift your perspective on the most challenging situations, also helping to align your manifestations. Practice daily real gratitude and watch your world transform. So definitely gratitude could be beneficial for you at this time. In prayer, give your current situation to God or the divine. Prayer is a powerful method to connect with the universe in which you can find clarity, peace, and guidance. Utilize the power of prayer and be open to the blessings that come with it. Let's get one more. Family matters. We usually incarnate with the same souls through life many times so we can evolve together. Take a look at your family dynamics and patterns and difficulties at this time. Evaluate significant spiritual lessons and how to make amends or move on. Love conquers all. So that makes a lot of sense. Family matters for the Cancer full moon. You know, Cancer is a sign that has to do with the 4th house and home, your roots, where you come from, your parents, also the family you make for yourself. And maybe there's a lot of tension in family dynamics right now. Keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. I was getting a lot of ancestral energy for sure. So honoring your ancestors, especially during the Cancer full moon. I don't know why I thought of that intellectually. But with the Cancer new moon, I keep saying full moon, but with the Cancer new moon, you know, it is about your roots and your lineage. So doing things related to your ancestors could definitely be beneficial, or asking your ancestors for help, praying to your ancestors, giving gratitude to your ancestors could all be beneficial for you at this time. Protection. Call your power back, cut the cords, soul retrieval. So I kind of mentioned that. I don't know if it was in the horoscope portion or the channeled scripting portion. They're kind of all channeled, but you know, I said we should utilize things like cleansing, spiritual hygiene, and protecting yourself and your home. So protection could definitely be beneficial. Again, I mentioned it before, but obsidian is a good one. My favorite is black tourmaline. I always have black tourmaline usually on me. I usually keep crystals in my bra. I don't think I have them. I think I just took them out actually. But black tourmaline is my favorite. And then obsidian, any black crystals are going to be great protectors. So okay, let's do the tarot. What do we have for the collective for the new moon? Some of you could be craving ice cream, or you could be eating ice cream right now while you're watching this. I don't know. I just have to relay the messages. Sometimes I feel like an idiot, but we have for the collective for the new moon. So overall energy of the collective for the new moon. The Fool card, new beginning, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful. 8 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So obviously the Fool card is the first card of the tarot. And this is new beginnings. And it's kind of, you know, the Fool is a very optimistic, but it's not always prepared. So keep that in mind. I do feel like there's a lot of fated things happening at this time, and that's kind of a given, being that the nodes are shifting. The nodes are going from the fixed signs, which is the Wheel of Fortune, the fixed signs, Scorpio and Taurus, into Aries and Libra, which are both cardinal signs. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of fated new beginnings, and this a lot of people could be financially. So keep an eye on your finances. If you have been thinking about new financial endeavors, definitely maybe pursue that at this time. This could be a manifestation you could write down for the new moon. 8 of Cups followed by the 8 of Swords and the Moon. I also feel like this is moving away from our self-imposed limitations or our pre-programming from childhood. The Moon card is a Pisces card, but I also associate it with Cancer because it's the moon. But feel like we're walking away from things and pre-programming, and I've never read the moon card this way, but it just came to me like this. We're walking away from a lot of our, or we should be walking away from a lot of our pre-programming and our fixed mindsets that we have picked up from childhood and maybe from our parents, our mother, or, you know, parental figures in some way, shape, or form. What are any challenges for the collective for the Five of Cups? One more. Challenges for the collective for the new moon. Got two more. The Six of Wands and the Tower. So the Five of Cups is definitely a card about seeing the brighter side of things. It's a card about being depressed and kind of, it's a Scorpio card, and it's being very down in the dumps and not seeing the two cups that are standing behind you. So there is a lot of heavy energy and emotional energy, especially with the Five of Cups. And I feel like if you're able to look behind you and look at things almost in a different perspective, there will be a victory. Even though there could be something shocking happening, or, you know, this could be in your personal lives or on a collective level, but there's some sort of tower moment. And remember that tower moments don't always have to be bad. Scorpio energy is heavy, especially with the Tower and the Five of Cups. Do have the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, followed by the Justice card, which is Libra. What are opportunities for the new moon? Opportunities for the collective. One more, Two of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. I feel like this is purging and getting rid of a lot of our heartbreaking situations, people that are like false twin flames or karmic contracts, people that have stabbed us in the back and hurt us in the past, who we thought was a soulmate connection. In reality, it was probably a karmic contract, but it was a soul contract nonetheless. But I feel like this is an opportunity to rid ourselves of that pain and suffering that we have endured from past relationships that we could be carrying subconsciously and not really aware of it, not being aware of it. What is the advice for the collective for the new moon? Okay, I don't shuffle in reversals, but the High Priestess reverse, a lot of us aren't tapping into our intuitive abilities, and intuition is extremely high right now. We do have the Devil at the bottom of the deck. There could be, you know, the Five of Swords, Page of Swords. That's not good. That's subconscious because it's at the bottom of the deck. So definitely be wary of any addictive tendencies. You know, this could be codependency in relationships, toxic relationships. It could be drugs and alcohol, sex, gambling, things like that. Definitely be wary of those kinds of things. But the advice being the High Priestess in the reverse position, I feel like we really need to tap into our spiritual side, especially with Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and tap in and use our intuition more. It's like a muscle. We have to use it in order for it to get better. One more for advice. Seven of Cups. There could be, I did get something about decisions too. I don't know if I mentioned that in the channel portion, but there was something about decisions, especially in regards to relationships. And this is using our intuition. We're not using our intuition. We could be using our logical mind way too much, especially as the nodes move into Aries, Libra. Libra is a sign, it's air, and Aries is fire. So we're not tapping into our water and our earth elements enough. And there could be a lot of important decisions that we have to make, and the options could just seem like there's too many. And if we're able to turn on our intuition and listen to our intuition, we will have the answers. You know, also things like prayer, meditation, asking our ancestors and guides for assistance in making decisions that are big or we can't seem to make, could give us the answers that we need. My left ear just started ringing, and I associate the left ear with usually like higher entities coming into my readings or that are around me at the time. So that was a message for somebody, but let's finish off with some oracle cards and maybe some dice. Get one oracle card and then we'll do dice. One oracle, please. No. Wow. Okay. A lot of you are debating on making a decision on whether you should do something or not do something. This is your sign. No, you shouldn't. Or you could there could be a lot of like rejection energy. Somebody rejects you and You know, sometimes what we have to remember is that sometimes no or a rejection, nonetheless, is the biggest blessing. So that message was for somebody. And then let's get some dice to finish it off. We do have the North Node in Leo in the 7th house. Wow. So I feel like, you know, the North Node is our destiny, and Leo is a sign of love, but in the heart, but it's also ourself. And the 7th house is Libra's house, and it is the house of the other person. So this is our destiny to find the love within ourselves in order to have fulfilling one-on-one connections and partnerships in our life. So definitely keep that in mind going into this new moon, the next 2 weeks, and Leo season, of course. But if you guys did like this style of reading and horoscope, please do let me know in the comments down below. It really does help me out. Either way, I hope you'll have a lovely new moon in Cancer, and I will see you guys in the next one. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. I love you guys.